The Gateway Arch is a wonderful symbol of the city of St. Louis. Right next door to Busch Stadium, site of Game 2 of a 3-game series with the Astros. The Cardinals won Game 1 here last night. The heroes include Adam Wainwright, who threw a shutout, a career-high 12 strikeouts for Waino. Yadier Molina, behind the plate, contributed 3 big hits. And John Jay, again, supplied the defense. Glad you're with us tonight. Rick Horton with Al Roboski. And Al, you look at that win last night, a big win. But when you play the Houston Astros at this point in the season, you have to win.
Now the Cardinals have put themselves in a position where they have to win every game, especially when you're playing against teams in the second division. And lo and behold, they win last night, and Pittsburgh loses. So now the Cardinals are 1 game behind the Pirates.
Nice pitching matchup for Game 2 in this series. And some new faces with the Astros, including their manager. We'll take a look at the Houston Ball Club next. Since 2010.
Their farm system was just a wreck. So in return for all these stars, they got a lot of minor leaguers trying to rebuild their farm system. One of their keepers, though, is Jose Altuve, the young second baseman, an all-star this year. He's only 5'5", and he truly is a budding star. Already has 25 stolen bases, hitting 300. He is the face of the franchise, and they're trying to pick it up and make it look like a winning team.
Only 22 years of age, and he's hit the Cardinals well. When we come back, we're going to look at our starting pitchers for tonight's game. Very good matchup. That's next. David Price at 2.0, but Kyle Loesch just behind him at 2.08 in 14 starts.
Kyle Loesch has had a remarkable season. He's 12-2, and with a little bit of luck, he could add 3 or 4 more wins. The only bad month he had was prior to June 1st. That's when he faced the Astros. He lost to them, but right now he's pitching like an ace. Bud Norris on the other side made his major league debut right here in St. Louis against the Cardinals, and he's dominated against them since that time. He really is 1-1 this year, and he has problems pitching on the road.
Good pitching matchup, Norris and Loesch. When we come back, we're going to look at our Up for Grabs segment. That's next. Where we focus on some fun things that happen in the stands.
So the giraffe got out of the zoo. Yeah, that'll happen. Great place to beat up your dad.
It's not long enough.
Near the wall, and a ball is down. How about that?
Always seems to rise to the occasion.
Hooking, foul.
They had the hard hands.
Lines that one in the left field corner. The ball came to him, but he's cradling that baby nicely. Yeah, you hang on to that youngin' now.
That fan, he's thrilled he got him the ball. That's what I'm talking about. He's passionate. And that guy right there, Johnny on the spot to make the play. Another one. I hope he bought a lottery ticket today.
You can breathe now.
Did he get hit? Oh, it did.
Now that guy's got a pair of hands. I think it might be a young lady. Either way.
Great times are waiting. Grab some buds. By your Mid-America Chevy dealers, the #1 selling brand in St. Louis. Find us at stlchevy.com. By Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers, #1 for quality tires and expert auto service. And by Steak and Shake, just no equal. Inside Busch Stadium, crowd still filing in. Game 2 of a 3-game series with the Astros. And new faces in the Astros lineup. Jose Altuve has hit the Redbirds well. 22-year-old second baseman. Marwin Gonzalez is the shortstop tonight. Brett Wallace, former Cardinal, plays first. Ben Francisco's in left. Scott Moore, Steve Pearce, Brandon Barnes, the veteran Chris Snyder, and Bud Norris will pitch in bat ninth for the Astros against Kyle Loesch, 12-2.
Best winning percentage in the National League. He's allowed just 1 run in his last 19 2/3 innings, spanning 3 starts. He's 8-8 lifetime against Houston, but a good ERA of 2.93, and he's allowed 5 runs, 3 earned runs in his loss, a 5-4 loss to Houston this year. But that was in that rough month of May. Since that time, he's been outstanding.
And it's been rough for Houston since then. A lot of new faces, a lot of their better players in the middle of the lineup have been traded away, but they did keep their leadoff hitter, Jose Altuve, .395 against the Cardinals in his short career. The new manager, Tony DeFrancesco, looking for his first big league victory. He's 0-2.
0-2. I had a little conversation with him today. Pretty excited about being here. 17 years managing in the Astros organization. A dream come true.
Loesch paints the outside corner, and that's really what sets him apart, is his command of the strike zone. He has all the pitches. Doesn't throw ridiculously hard. Good fastball, but really it's the command that sets him apart.
The ability to keep the ball down. Jaime Garcia had 12 strikeouts, or 10 strikeouts on Sunday. It was 12 strikeouts, a career high for Adam Wainwright. That's back-to-back career highs in strikeouts. So what's Loesch going to do tonight?
Don't really think of him as a strikeout pitcher necessarily.
What you think about him as just being excellent at changing speeds, keeping the ball out of the middle of the ballpark. Doesn't beat himself. He's got 19 quality starts on the year, and 13 of his last 14 games have been quality starts.
Another 0-2 pitch. Hit to second base. That's Descalzo throwing out Altuve. We'll look at the defense behind Kyle Loesch. Matt Holliday, John Jay. What a year he's had defensively. And Carlos Beltran back in the lineup in right. You've seen Descalzo for Cal also up the middle. Alan Craig and Matt Carpenter playing third base tonight. Yadier Molina again behind the plate. That's our Dobbs Cardinals defense.
Mike Matheny giving Freeze a little bit of a break. He's in a rut. And keep your bench guys sharp. You got to play them.
Strike one to Marwin Gonzalez. Expect a lot of first pitch strikes from Kyle Loesch. Slider. And Gonzalez at least acting like that ball hit off his foot. Couldn't tell, but sold the home plate umpire. Some guys are known to kind of fake that one, Al. Not
knowing that it's an out.
Not pointing any fingers, but that's probably what you're supposed to do.
Gary Davis, our crew chief, grew up in St. Louis and started umpiring. I believe he lives in Wisconsin now. He's seen it all. He's seen all the tricks, right?
Yeah. cutter misses the outside corner. 1-2. Not a lot of wasted pitches for Loesch either. Even 0-2 to Altuve. He's still trying to get him out with that pitch.
Well, he's a pitch maker. You know, you got throwers and you got guys with great stuff and know how to utilize it. Good change up there.
Pulls the string, makes it look like a fastball, and there it goes.
With his off-speed pitches and his ability to locate his fastball, he should have good results with a young, aggressive team. Probably too aggressive.
Only because you brought it up. Most strikeouts in one single game in the career of Kyle Loesch is also 12.
You find that surprising?
Not really.
I think that was, you see the date that was, but probably earlier in his career when he was more of a thrower, but he's evolved into a real true pitcher, and in my mind he's one of the best pitchers in the league now.
April 15th, 2007. This ball hit very, very hard, and it's fair. Just inside the foul pole down the right field line. Brett Wallace with a solo shot. 1-0 Astros.
We always talk about down and into a left-hander. It's not where you want to throw a guy. Brett Wallace, so you want to pitch it in, but you want this a little higher. Just down and in right there, and they can crush it. His 6th home run. They sent him down and said, if you're going to be a corner infielder, you're going to have to show more power.
Certainly showed it there. Francisco pops out. The Astros take an early lead, 1-0. .310. Matt Carpenter, the rookie, plays third base and bats second. Matt Holliday, Carlos Beltran, and Alan Craig are in the middle, followed by Yadier Molina, Daniel Descalzo, the second baseman. Rafael Furcal plays short, and Kyle Loesch pitches and bats ninth. And a familiar name and a familiar face to Cardinal fans, Bud Norris.
Well, Cardinal fans would not believe that he's 5-10 and ERA over 5. What they believe is he's 7-3 with a 2.47 ERA against the Cardinals. He made his major league debut here in St. Louis, and he pitched very well in that game, and really hasn't started. This year he's 1-1 against the Cardinals, and in the one game that he lost, he had 12 strikeouts against Redbirds in 6 innings. And thanks to Brett Wallace, he has a 1-0 lead.
Norris has been having issues with his command. A lot of walks, very uncharacteristic. of Norris, particularly against the Cardinals. And we'll see how his command is tonight. And the first pitch right down central to Jay. 2 straight 3-hit games for the Cardinals center fielder. Very steady this year. Very impressed with his defense, especially.
But Norris, when we first saw him, was throwing 95, 96. He's not throwing quite that hard, but a lot of cutters in on the left-handed batters.
Broken bat. Gonzalez has it. Out number 1. The defense behind Norris. Brought to you by Dodds, Francisco, Brandon Barnes, and Steve Pearce in the outfield. Marwin Gonzalez, you just saw. Altuve, the second baseman. Brett Wallace, already homered. Scott Moore, the third baseman. Chris Snyder, the veteran behind the plate.
A lot of cutters coming in on the left-handed batters. Here he just saws it off. Sanjay now 3 for 19. Matt Carpenter 0 for 3 when facing Bud Norris. Believe it or not, they will
recycle it.
They will authenticate that, and you can buy it at your
somewhere.
Oh, I think they have a. I don't know if it's in the team store or not, but it'll be authenticated as game used and ready for your purchase.
Sliding attempt by Moore. And a lot of folks do like to buy game used bats. They certainly have more value than a bat that was not game used, and then they do what they can to maybe get a player to sign it out. The winter warm up is always a perfect opportunity to do that. And so we're making use of that unusable wood. 1-2 to Carpenter, misses away. Norris has a changeup. Decent breaking ball. In fact, a very good breaking ball when it's right. And you mentioned the hard fastball. Wallace has it. Flips to Norris. 2 down.
Well, we talked about all the strikeouts that he commands against the Cardinals, and was talking to McGuire about it. And Mark said that, you know, particularly you'll see right-handed batters chase it out of the strike zone. Mark McGuire said that he's talked to his hitters, and the hitters say we just don't pick up the spin.
Vision very important for hitters. Seeing the ball out of the hand, picking up the spin, as you say, so they can make their adjustments. Strike 1 to Holiday, who's looking for that little tweak of his own. After a 3 for 30 on this homestand, his average has dropped to 301. Still like seeing him in the lineup though every day.
I was going to say that, you know, there's some guys that you have to get them out for mental rest. They just let that, what we call a slump, just eat at them and just affect their overall game. But Matt Holliday, you don't worry about him. He just keeps his psyche level.
High fly ball to right center. Both outfielders calling for it. Somebody better listen. Almost a collision. The play is made by the center fielder Barnes. 1-0 Houston.
where it's easy to find the seats you want to see the Cardinals in action all season long. StubHub is the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the St. Louis Cardinals. 1-0 Astros, top of the second inning. Scott Moore swings through a changeup, and we're underway here in the second. Loesch allowed a home run to Brett Wallace with 2 outs in the first. Another off-speed pitch out in front again is Moore. Moore getting increased playing time. Got called up from the minor leagues after Chris Johnson was dealt to Arizona. Really a career up and down guy. He's not really ever established himself as a major leaguer. He does have some time in the big leagues. Does Scott Moore.
He was at Oklahoma City in 73 games. He hit .318, 10 home runs, 54 RBIs. Very versatile.
Had some time with both the Cubs and the Orioles at the major league level.
Played third base, first base, second base, and right field.
Mentioned yesterday how young this team is. The youngest team in the National League currently. Only the Kansas City Royals are younger. But they have some players on their team like Moore, 28 years of age, just trying to find their way. Try to fill in the gaps until the cavalry comes. He bounces out to Descalzo. Stays with it.
Kendo places his infielders, just has a instinct. You don't see him with that book, but has that ability to know how they're going to pitch to hitters, where to kind of put guys, just a natural feel, and he's right most of the time. Now Jeff Luhnow, who is now the general manager and architect of this, what some people are calling that demolition team. That's the most embarrassing thing. I think it got a piece of his leg for an umpire. So it comes over here and just change direction, get a little bit of his knee maybe.
He said ouch and foul. Said both of those words.
And only those words?
Maybe. Another broken bat. Watch out, Carpenter. Talked about this team being very, very young. The career games played by this current active roster. When I say roster, I'm talking about all 25 guys. 3,747 games. And Beltran and Berkman alone have almost that many.
2 ex-Astros. And when they were making trades for star players like Berkman, he was a couple years ago, but and the last piece would be probably Brett Myers and Carlos Lee. They weren't getting players that really are coming back and helping the big league roster right now. They're getting guys that are projected out 3 years. So they're this team is made up of waiver wire. They've got 2 Rule 5 draft picks. They've actually had 2 Cardinal first-round draft picks.
Ground ball is short for call. Very steady. High throw handled by Craig. 1-2-3 inning for Loesch. Beltran when we come back. In his last 13 starts, Al 0-9.
Look at the high ERA. He's really struggled. It's been a couple months since he's won a ball game, but he's feeling that he's up against the Cardinals, so he'll return to winning form. 7-3 lifetime ERA, under 2.5 against the Cardinals, and many of those games have just been very dominant.
It's interesting, you look at the individual players against Bud Norris, and it's not as if he hasn't given up hits to some Cardinals. Some guys have hit him fairly well, including Carlos Beltran. He's 6 for 18. Daniel Descalso 5 for 11. You just wonder why the Cardinals can't seem to score runs off of Bud Norris. A lot of strikeouts, though.
And that's it. Good to see Beltran. He set out yesterday's game. Had a problem with his left hand and got an injection. And now that seems like it's a lot better, and they're hoping for him to get back and be a very productive hitter again. They have the shift, three infielders on the right side. Moore, the only infielder, the third baseman, playing around shortstop.
Good breaking ball by Norris. He really has a curveball and a slider both, and really throws a lot of pitches hard. Has the good changeup as well, and appears to be so confident when he pitches here at Busch Stadium, doesn't he? Just kicks the ball, rocks and fires.
Made his major league debut here, and that went very, very well. He was dominant in that performance against the Cardinals, and he has more wins against the Cardinals than any other National League pitcher since he's 09.
In the kitchen of Beltran, long way to go, and Norris actually the closest one to it.
How about he grabs his hat? So he's running that entire way with his hat in his bare hand. Drop it. Look, he takes it off and he just hold on to it. With the shift being on, he was the closest player to the ball.
I cannot understand why he would be holding his hat in his hand. Unless he's a former catcher, he's taking it off, he's going to throw it, you know, just kind of had that habit. I mean, that makes no sense.
Maybe he studied Tony La Russa and his ability to catch foul balls with it. Tony's hat.
There you go. I knew you'd have an idea, Al. Wallace, nice backhanded play. Really were some questions about his defense as a Cardinal minor leaguer. They weren't really sure where Brett Wallace would project as a big leaguer. Third baseman, first baseman, outfielder.
His upper body looks a little slimmer from when he first showed up. He just has tremendous thighs and lower body half, but the upper body seems like it's not, a little older, not as pudgy, maybe a little better shape.
Snyder, the catcher, out to talk to Bud Norris. And perhaps talking about Alan Craig and just how good he's been lately. 10-game hitting streak.
Well, the last time that the Cardinals faced Bud Norris, Alan Craig and Descalso both hit home runs against him. In that game, in 6 innings, he struck out 12, but he was the loser.
Has a 1-0 lead early, thanks to Brett Wallace. Craig, the longest current hitting streak in the National League at 10, and it's a career high for him.
It's also the longest active streak in the National League. We can run it all the way through the postseason. Cardinals need to win this game, but it's fun to watch the scoreboard, and San Diego is leading the Pirates 4-2 at the bottom of the 7th out in San Diego.
The scoreboard watching has begun in earnest, hasn't it?
It has, and I noted your comments on the pregame show, and you are correct.
Thanks. You can just stop right there, Al. You don't even have to go any further.
Well,
you just said I'm correct. I'm good with that.
But then I'm going to correct you again.
Oh, okay. I knew there was a but.
You know, we losing that game on Sunday, it felt bad about it. But the Pirates have gone on to San Diego and lost the last 2 games, so you find yourself 1/2 game behind the Pirates. But I'm still shooting my sights at Cincinnati.
Looping liner, base hit for Alan Craig. How about 11 straight games for the Cardinal first baseman? High school football kicks off this week. Friday, we're streaming Fort Zumwalt West at CVC. A couple of football powerhouses. East St. Louis Rockhurst at Parkway North at St. Louis University High. Live at foxsportsmidwest.com. Then on Saturday morning, catch a replay of the Fort Zumwalt West CVC telecast on Fox Sports Midwest. It's Bommarito Automotive Prep Zone Football. Love college football here in the Midwest and love high school football as well.
Just think about those young high school players get a game on television, get a chance to watch the replay. That's going to be special.
Yadier Molina, 8 for his last 17. Craig the runner at first, short lead there. Wouldn't expect him to be moving, just 1 stolen base on the season. Although the catchers for Houston, we mentioned yesterday, when in doubt, run.
Does help to have a little more speed than Alan Craig. But with Yachty, a good hit and run guy, a little protection. Molina had 3 hits yesterday, including 2 RBIs.
Hard hit to right. Back to the track is Pierce to make the play. Just had the sense that that might not carry well enough, but it was well struck by Molina.
It's pretty obvious today when Mike Matheny went over his second base options who he's going to select. Descalzo was 5 for 11 with a home run, and Schumacher not nearly as successful, so probably a pretty easy decision for Mike. Schumacher 3 for 22, a 136.
Hard hit, left center field gap. This could be trouble, and it's down and past the center fielder Barnes. Here comes Craig. There won't be a play at the plate, and the Cardinals have tied it here in the second, thanks to Daniel Descalzo. So that's how you hit Bud Norris.
6 for 12 with a home run now. His 17th RBI, and he plays that great defense. So when a hitter has good numbers against a pitcher and a ball up a little bit, Barnes tried to come across there, and the ball carried a little bit more than he thought. Alan Craig gets a great view of this. Sees they're not going to catch it. And pick up Oquendo, and Oquendo will send him home, but he already knew that our center fielder was chasing it down with his back to the infield.
RBI double for Descalzo, his 17th RBI of the season. For Call has 47 RBIs, batting in the 8th spot.
Call 43 of those 47 are out of the leadoff spot. That's second best of a National League leadoff hitter. But since he had the problem with his back, Mike's moved him down the 8th spot. John Jay's gotten hot, and he's become a very dangerous 8th place hitter.
Really seems like that was a good move. Maybe the physical reason is what caused that, but setting up the order as it has Furcal seems at home in that 8th spot, and John Jay, as you mentioned, has just flourished.
And after the first frame, how many times you're really a leadoff hitter? A lot of managers will want a very high on-base percentage in the 8th spot so they can be their second leadoff guy and start the next round.
I mentioned the catchers for the Astros. Yesterday's starter Castro, 16% of the runners thrown out. Today's Snyder, just 17. So expect the Cardinals to run in this series. Check swing for Furcal, 2-2.
All right, check your math from Virginia.
All right.
If it's 16 and 17, how are they combined at 20%?
It's the new math, Al.
Okay, now I got it.
I would say somebody from Virginia Tech must have figured that out.
Maybe there's a third catcher, too.
That's a more plausible reason. Thank you. And there is.
And it is 20%, isn't it?
You are correct. Full count to Furcal. Loesch will hit next. Descalzo forced back to the bag by Norris, trying to keep him close there. The infielders don't want to give too much of their range away, so they're not holding Descalzo that closely at second. Now Gonzalez comes in, fades back. Furcal waves at that off-speed pitch. The Cardinals do score here in the second. And we're going to talk a little college football next inning. Eric Crouch is with us. He'll be talking about this team, West Virginia. That's next. Always get Heisman Trophy winners up here in the booth. 2001 Heisman Trophy. Sure. I'm sure that's something you still look back on at Nebraska and say that was pretty big deal.
It sticks with you for a lifetime. It really does. But it's a great honor, and just it's a great thing to be involved with all those former players, those former athletes, and what's something you can cherish the rest of your life.
And that's an elite company. You guys still do things together and connect, and you'll, I assume, always a part of that presentation each year.
Oh yeah. The best thing is every year you go, you get a chance to welcome in that new winner, and you know exactly what he's going through, what's going through his head.
Long drive to center field. Jay is back, and he runs out of room. This ball is gone. Chris Snyder homers to right center field. His 7th home run of the season, and 2 home runs on the night for the Astros. That ball carried very, very well the other way. One more look at that. There's a fastball right in the middle of the plate. John Jay has been so good defensively. Probably would have been a good target at Nebraska for Eric Crouch. I think he could have caught some passes, the way he runs his routes out in center field. But good to have Eric with us here for the top of the third. You're going to be doing some football on the FX network, which is a part of the Fox expanded college football coverage.
Yeah.
Excited about that?
Very excited. I'm excited for the opportunity. Fox is expanding and getting into the college football season more and more. And you know, what a great year it's shaping up to be. A lot of preseason hype, a lot of realignments with conferences, and a lot of hype with the players out there too, in the Heisman race. And you know, every year a lot of wonderful athletes that come through that are set up to really position their universities and themselves and their teams in a great position to bring home that trophy and try to win a national championship.
One of those candidates that we've heard a lot about will be in the first game that you have at West Virginia, Geno Smith.
Yeah, I'm excited to go watch him live. Just you know, you see him on TV, you see all the highlights. I mean, what an exciting player, and he means so much to his team. And I think he's going to have a great year this year. He's got two of his great, you know, his top receivers coming back, and you know, great offensive mind. And Dana Holgerson is the coach, and you know, that first year in the new offense, you're learning everything's new to you. You know, you're just thinking a lot, and he was able to rack up like 4,500 passing yards his first year.
Popped up on the right side. Molina has it, and he retires Bud Norris. Kyle Lowe's trying to settle down after the home run allowed to Chris Snyder. It's 2-1 Houston. We're visiting with Eric Crouch, who will be doing games on the FX network, and looking forward to watching you do some Big 12 and Pac-12 games.
Yeah, Big 12, Pac-12, another exciting conference too. You know, with having USC off probation and ranked #1, I think that's an exciting time, and a Heisman Trophy candidate and Matt Barkley, and you know, preseason #1 guy to bring home that trophy, a hometown guy. So
base hit to right. Altuve hits the Cardinals well. He's going to try for two. Good strong throw, not in time. Ball gets away from Furcal. John Jay ran it down and got rid of it quickly. Altuve right out of the box was thinking too. Again, he has hit the Cardinals very, very well. Right in front of him, he makes a decision, puts his head down, and just flies into second base. So 3 hits for the Astros tonight, and all of them extra base hits. A home run for Wallace and Snyder, and a double for Altuve, and in steps Marwin Gonzalez. Beautiful night for baseball here at Busch Stadium, again with Eric Crouch here in the top of the third. And Eric, should also ask about your time here in St. Louis. You were drafted by the Rams and had a chance to play with some names that we certainly recognize here, and for those of us who love Rams football, and I'm sure that was a meaningful time for you as well.
Yeah, it sure was. It was a great opportunity. It's here with Mike Martz, and you know, they're scoring explosion in their passing game, and right after they were pretty hot winning the Super Bowl, and you know, a great opportunity just to play in the National Football League and be around a lot of great athletes and guys that were MVPs of the National Football League and going to be Hall of Famers. So put yourself in that group, and you really cherish those moments.
And obviously you had a number of good players at Nebraska as well. You guys had some phenomenal teams, and all the Mizzou fans here locally and the KU fans they certainly know how good Nebraska was over the years.
Yeah, Nebraska's had a great following. I mean, really, it's a great opportunity for them now joining the Big Ten. I mean, everybody's kind of wondering how that's going to play out, but I think it was a great move for them to join the Big Ten and be in a conference with a lot of tradition, and it's a very stable conference, and that's what Tom Osborne really wanted us to be in. It's a stable conference with an environment that would allow us to get back to that national championship type caliber football.
And I was going to ask you about Tom Osborne. He is one of the most respected people in maybe the history of college football, and just the way he ran his team and his program, and not just the excellence of it, but the character. Met him at a Fellowship of Christian Athletes banquet here in St. Louis, and just really overwhelmed with how much he exuded character in everything that he said and did.
Well, he became a father figure to a lot of the players. I mean, after recruiting a lot of guys and becoming family when you get to Nebraska, and he really preached character and integrity and honesty, and all those things were first before football. and it just made you a better football player. You played for one another, and you know, just watching what he's done over his career, he's a legend in Nebraska and of all of college football, and now he's involved as an athletic director. It's a great position for him at Nebraska. He's really kind of bringing us back to that national spotlight again, and where a few years there, now Nebraska kind of fell off, and now we're climbing back.
Full count to Gonzalez. Altuve, the runner at second base. Loesch jams him. Backhanded by Furcal. May not have enough time, and he doesn't. Close play at first base. Gonzalez beats it out. That had trouble with it right off the bat as he was jammed. Gonzalez had a little spin on it, and all Furcal could do is knock it down, and fumbles it a bit, and they're going to give him a base hit, says our official score. Bang bang play at first. And speed still matters in the game of baseball too, Eric Crouch. I know it certainly does in football, and you see some really phenomenal athletes when you look at what a football player, even the linemen, for goodness sakes, how fast they are, and the DBs and the corners are of course fast, but really that is a quick game when you cover college football and you get a chance to see it up close.
Well, even in the 10 years that I've been out now, I mean, the speed and
you say
the
10 years? Wow, 10 years.
Might be going on 11.
Oh.
If you know.
Wow.
It does go by fast, but you're right. The better the athlete, the more you can do, the more versatile you are, the more you can help your team win, the better positions you can put yourself in. And your coaches understand that, and they try to use that to the best of their abilities. And I'll tell you what, an athlete these days can pretty much do anything. You know, you can move it, interchange it with tight end to a tackle, or you know, bring a center out to a guard, or move him out to a tackle even. And if guys can do that, they really help the offense, the defense, to be able to interchange just like that. And never know who's going to get injured.
Wallace is jammed as well. Loesch really in the kitchen of these Astros hitters. Wallace, who had homered in the first, pops up with a couple runners aboard. The Astros have retaken the lead here in the third inning. Solo shot in the first. That was Wallace. Chris Snyder, a leadoff home run here in the third. Cardinals scored in the second inning. RBI double for Daniel Descalzo. There's your score, 2-1. And we'd like to thank Eric Crouch for visiting us here during the third inning. Looking forward again to seeing you, Eric, on Fox's expanded college football coverage. I know it's going to be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be great. And the weather tonight, like you said, it's a great night. Really reminds me of football. It's hard to forget that football's right around the corner.
Right around the corner indeed.
Thanks for having me.
You bet. Glad to have you with us. 2-1 Astros. Visit att.com/freeyourtv. Rethink possible. by mykiastlouis.com. And get the All-American Jack Combo at Jack in the Box. It's a no-nonsense burger with fries and a drink for only $4.99 plus tax at participating stores. Beautiful night for baseball here at Busch Stadium. Nice crowd on hand. Al Raboski back for the bottom of the third. We'll trade one very good football player from a guy that was also pretty good high school football player, Al Raboski.
Had it down to a science. Had it hit runner the split second he relaxed after the whistle.
You know, you're not supposed to do that, Al.
They kept on telling me that, but I didn't know the difference.
Didn't stop you, did it? That's why they kept throwing that flag.
Anafin gave me a project when he was the head coach here.
I love it.
He knew about Danny knew about the madman.
And your project was?
Well, he said, I've got this player who's got a lot of heart. He'll do anything for you, but you know he's not very good. And his name is Connie, and I turned him into Conrad.
We know who that was. Hard shot handled by Norris, knocks it down and throws out Kyle Loesch, and that's how the third inning starts. 2-1 Astros.
Says it's okay. Says it hit the glove, so the trainers can relax. If you have lost 9 straight decisions and you're 0-8 in your last 10 road games, you're going to stay out there if you got a 2-1 lead.
I'll say. Think about being Bud Norris with the rest of your rotation either getting hurt or getting traded. Everybody you're kind of connected to from spring training, working on PFP with, your third baseman, getting the signs from, they're all new.
Well, even today they got a new pitcher. They designated
tough play for Altuve, and it scoots under his glove. Base hit for John Jay.
They designated Armando Galarraga. Perfect game almost thing. And designated him for assignment today. Brought up a new pitcher. So this one sneaks under the glove of Altuve. I will say, and I really like Altuve. He doesn't have a lot of range.
I agree.
Everything that he can get to, he will catch. But range is a little bit lacking. When he and Lowry were playing shortstop, they were good up the middle where they could get to.
Matt Carpenter at 307. Jay the runner at first. Will he go? Norris thinks he might. Fastball away to Carpenter. And a very productive pinch hitter for the Cardinals. 7 for 27, but 10 RBIs with those 7 hits.
Not getting a lot of at bats, but his rankings are going up on the Rookie of the Year in the National League. He will not win, but he will not be embarrassed where he finishes.
There goes Jay. Hit and run. Swing and a miss. The ball gets by the catcher. That's not a foul ball. That's just a swing and a miss. And John Jay better stay there. He's still not sure whether or not that was a foul ball or a swing and a miss. And you're asking for some clarification. Don't let him talk you into it.
Exactly.
You know what he'll say.
Did not foul it off. It gets by, but he's moving on the pitch, so he's not sure. So stay on the bag. Let an umpire tell you to get off.
I've seen that before.
Sure, we have. We've seen that.
Where an infielder says, hey, he fouled it off, and the guy left, and then he tag him out. A little bogus, but it works. 1-1 to Carpenter. Fly ball to left. Medium depth. Francisco has it. 2 outs. John Jay now with 14 stolen bases. He has retaking the lead in that department for the Cardinals. Beltran with 13. Furcal with 12. And let's not forget Yadier Molina with 11. Now, what's this conversation all about?
First base is open. Holiday's hit 2 home runs off him. He's 7 for 28. Beltran is 6 for 19, so pick your poison.
Neither player particularly hot right now, but both dangerous. This ball hit deep to left. Back goes Francisco. He's at the track, and he makes the play up against the wall at the 375-foot mark here at Busch Stadium. Holiday gives it a ride. Francisco runs it down. Your next Missouri getaway. Welcome to the Pony Express Museum in St. Joseph. On April 3rd, 1860, a lone Pony Express rider, the first of his kind, left Pikes Peak Stables in St. Joseph. Brave riders carrying saddlebags filled with our nation's hopes and dreams traveled more than 2,000 miles west to California. Visit mo.com. Wonderful sights in our great state. Kyle Oesch given up 4 hits through 3 innings, 2 of them home runs. Wallace and Snyder. He has Moore, Pierce, and Barnes in the 4th. Again, not particularly household names.
And Kyle Oesch really just hasn't had the command keeping the ball out of the middle of the plate. I think that was a changeup.
Furcal calls off to Scalzo and makes the play. Subscribe to MLB.tv today to take advantage of new low pricing and see every remaining Cardinals out-of-market game live online and on your favorite devices in HD quality. Visit Cardinals.com to order, and you can get more details there. MLB.tv. Baseball everywhere. That is really a must for baseball fans. They do such a great job. And you can keep up to date on your Cardinals.
It's a final in San Diego. Pirates lost 3 straight to the Padres.
Another off-speed pitch swung through by Pierce.
Cardinals win this game, they can leapfrog over Pittsburgh.
Pierce bounces out, and let's go to Jim Hayes, who has an update on the Cardinal first baseman Lance Berkman. Jim?
Yeah, Lance confirming today what the Cardinals said yesterday, that he'll be headed out on a rehab assignment with Memphis on Friday. Berkman's been on the DL since August 3rd with knee issues. Berkman says strength training has gotten the knee stronger, but whether or not he's ready for actual game action, Lance says he'll have to start playing to find out. Obviously, guys, the Cardinals will be watching very closely.
Thanks, Jim. Appreciate that update, and be very interesting how the Cardinals will use Lance Berkman if and when he does come back. John Mozeliak, certainly an interested participant in that
I think
option.
It would be very surprising if he was a position, playing as a regular. I think he's, in his mind, knows that he'll be a bench player, because who would you take out?
And I think he's the right guy to be able to do that too, by the way.
And he knows
that could be dangerous for some players to bring him back and put him in that situation. Mike Matheny, I think, understands the character of Berkman. I think Berkman respects Matheny. He'll do what he tells him.
And I think he also respects what Alan Craig has done.
No question.
He can't play ahead of him. He knows that.
Good inning for Loesch. Beltran, Craig, and Molina next. The Central Division standings and the wild card standing. Al's already told you that Pittsburgh has lost tonight, so Al thinks tightening up a bit.
You win tonight, you leapfrog over them, then that would also put you in the wild card, the second wild card. But Mike Matheny has told his troops, we're not looking for the second wild card, we're not looking for the first wild card. We still think can chase down Cincinnati, and they do have 6 games remaining, including the first 3 are tomorrow in the Queen City.
It's really the way a player has to think. You can't start thinking about plan B. You have to think about plan A, really, which is a daily thought. We get so tired of players saying that, Al, but that's a fact. You have to really approach every day as if really that's all that matters. And it sounds so cliche, but it's the world they live in. And we as fans and those following the Cardinals can watch the scoreboard and find out how the Pirates are doing and the Braves, etc. But from a player's point of view, they got to focus on what they're doing.
Have the shift on again. Even shade in the outfield a little bit for him to pull. The 3 infielders on the right side. That's a softball position, isn't it?
Short fielder, right? Short fielder. You'd almost say, I'm not sure I've seen a shortstop looking at Gonzalez. He's almost playing the normal second base position. He's not kind of on the right side of the bag. He's way over.
And Bud Norris isn't that good a fielder that he could take everything up the middle.
Right. And I don't think there's anybody standing there. Beltran rips one off the wall. He's going to try for two. Good strong throw into second base. Not in time.
Couldn't have played that any better defensively. Steve Pearce knew he couldn't catch it, but he got in position to take the carom off the wall and threw it right on the money. Bare hands it and comes up firing. It's right on the money, but Beltran running hard right out of the batter's box comes up with a double. That's his 23rd of the year. Steve Pearce, the right fielder, is one of those guys that we saw several times with Pittsburgh. Always have good minor league numbers, get a chance, but really didn't have enough playing time to really sell somebody on his ability at the major league level. Like a Tyler Green. You know, now they're going to get chances to play and show what they can do.
With the right team, isn't he? There are opportunities in Houston, that's for sure. Alan Craig singled and scored in the second.
Let's watch and see if Norris will just keep on working the outer half against a right-handed batter, whether it's with the fastball or his slider. Can really, a lot of hitters can really kind of cheat a little bit and even, you know, kind of get over the plate, not worrying about a ball inside, because most of the time, you know, he'll leave that ball out over the plate or even live on the outside part of the plate. So you don't really worry about being jammed. And if he does throw one inside, just have your hands quick enough to where you can foul it off.
Trust your hands. Craig does get jammed, bounces out to short, does not move Beltran to third. On Saturday, September 8th, when the Cardinals take on the Brewers, kids ages 15 and younger entering with a ticket will receive a collectible Cardinals pennant courtesy of Coca-Cola and Pasta House. For more information and to purchase tickets, visit Cardinals.com.
Touch the dirt and they didn't throw it out. Molina didn't demand it coming out of the game. They did check it and put it back in play.
Yadier Molina, RBI machine. You know, Al, as strange as that is to us, because there were times where you just allow a scuffed ball to stay in play for a while. Imagine the players in 1910. They probably used 2 or 3 baseballs and, you know, hang with them. That's it.
And I think I can remember games being played with just a handful of balls.
Sure.
And I can also remember balls being hit and the seams ripping. Bob Forsch, our good buddy, was a seam ripper.
Yes, he was. Looping ball, just foul down the right field line. We mentioned Yadier Molina has moved up to 4th in the National League in batting. He jumped ahead of Cargo and David Wright last night with his 3-hit night. And he's getting up in that rare territory now with.
How shocking is it to see 2 catchers in the top 4. 321 coming in. That's where he's still hitting. But Buster Posey at 327. Cabrera is through, but has enough plate appearances that he could win the batting championship, serving a 50-game suspension for steroid use. And Colon, Bartolo Colon was caught today. At 39, he may be through.
50-day suspension may be all he had left.
And it will carry over now to next season, and unless he wants to pull Roger Clemens,
who is trying out again, wants to pitch again.
I think he's supposed to pitch Saturday for the Wranglers. Gary Gaetti is his manager.
2-1 to Molina. Leadoff double for Beltran here in the fourth. The Cardinals need a run. Don't want Norris to settle down. And you think of Alan Craig, Al, not moving Beltran from second to third. Allen is kind of in that category of people that you just want to swing the bat because he's an RBI guy. There's some players that you say, look, under all circumstances, hit the ball the other way. Craig's kind of in the middle there. I'm not sure what I think about him not getting a runner over.
I agree with you. Just let him swing, and they did execute a pitch in on his hands that he was, what they could do was to pull it, and so no advancement, but with his RBI production, let him swing.
Molina 8 for his last 18. Could be a big spot here. Times where the most important part of a game happens in the fourth inning, not the ninth inning.
First time up, hit the ball well, almost to the wall and right.
Gets under this one. Long fly ball to center field. Beltran tagging. And he's headed to third. Look at that strong throw. Wow. Well, if you wondered whether Brandon Barnes had a good arm or not, I think we just found out. Daniel Descalzo and Alan Craig both in the lineup tonight, and partly because they both hit him well. Descalzo 5 for 11 in his career. Alan Craig 4 for 8, and both have shown some pop as well against the Cardinal killer, Bud Norris.
I think it's almost comical where fans worrying about who Mike Matheny puts at second base. Two good teammates. One of them understands they're going to play, but there'll be times like today where that decision is made for you just by the success against that day's pitcher. Scalzo is a much better defender, but you know, Skip Schumacher has improved. He's a better defender at second this year than he was last year, and I don't think you or I would ever question Schumacher's effort. Pro's pro.
Absolutely.
And Daniel's not far behind.
Just younger. Similar players in a lot of ways in terms of their attitude and their work ethic.
I was talking with McGuire in spring training, and we were talking about some of the new players. And he used what I called was really a compliment to Descalzo, where he said that Descalzo is, you know, we got a lot of Descalzos, you know, really good players that know how to play the game properly. They don't make any mistakes, and you know, you just never question their effort. And then what his reference point at that time in spring training, he said that Matt Adams was the star, the potential at the star potential. And shame we won't see him as he's out for the year with elbow surgery.
Fly ball to left. Francisco has been busy out in left field. He retires Descalzo, so the Cardinals strand another. They've stranded 3, trail by 1. Couple of solo shots. Astros with 3 hits against Kyle Loesch. Ball hit to Rafael Furcal was changed to an error last inning, and we think rightfully so. So just 3 hits now for the Astros, but the home runs are the difference. Kyle Loesch looking for victory number 13 here tonight. His earned run average very, very good, 2.61. And he will face 8, 9, and 1 for the Astros here in the 5th. First pitch, strike 1. What's new for Kyle Loesch?
Kyle Loesch has 19 quality starts on the season, and 13 of his last 14 games have been quality. One of the reasons why is only, even with tonight, the 2 home runs hit, it's only a total of 14. Doesn't walk very many. Field his position, does a lot of little things to help himself. A good athlete. Very good at sacrifice situations. A lot of reason why he has that 12-2 record.
Snyder's batting average at just 186, but he does have that occasional power, and we saw it in the 3rd. Good power the other way. The 2-2. Another changeup from Loesch and another strikeout. And that's just his 2nd on the night. On Saturday, September 1st, Fox Sports Networks and FX are the places to turn for a full day of college football action. Our coverage of college football begins Saturday, September 1st at 11 a.m. on FSN and FX. Another strike 1, this time to Bud Norris. As you mentioned, Al, 7-3 lifetime against the Cardinals, and he is leading again here tonight. Strike on the corner, 0-2.
Seemed like the first couple of years, the Cardinals couldn't even get a run off him.
Just 26-34 in his career.
His first 3 starts against the Cardinals, he only allowed 1 run, and it was unearned. So Kyle faced 18 batters, 15 times. He got ahead on the count on them with strike 1.
70% is a good number on those first pitch strikes.
Add 1 more. Sometimes you'll have a hitter has a reputation of being a first ball fastball hitter. Best pitch to throw to him is a fastball. Just make it a little off the plate, and he'll chase.
Quick math in our truck tells us 83% first pitch
Even
strikes.
better.
Really get in trouble when you start working behind and having to go into the middle of the plate, almost giving in to the hitter. Loesch never does that. In fact, even when he's behind, seems to me he does a good job of attacking corners. That one on the outside corner produces a ground ball. So Loesch sharp here in the 5th. He's now retired 8 straight. 2 and 5 every day. You can get $1 off discounts on McCafe products. Two to 1 Houston. For Kyle Loesch and John Jay will try to turn that around. Just have that sinking feeling out that with the Cardinals not hitting here and the history with Bud Norris, you just don't want this to be one of those games where the Cardinals offense just doesn't show up, but it's starting to feel that way a bit.
Well, one of the things the Cardinals got going against them, or for them, I would say,
is that hit.
The hit, and also the fact that Norris has no complete games in his history. But yet their bullpen's been pitching pretty effective too. So 61 pitches on the night. We'll keep an eye on that. Away from him, be able to pull it through the hole on the right side and through.
Kyle Loesch has been a very good bunter this season, up among the league leaders in sacrifices.
Got 10 on the season. And pick up his 50th in his career sack. Fourth in the National League with his 10 sacrifices.
Surprised Johnny Cueto leads that category. We've seen him struggle with the bat before.
We have. But he's not struggling when he's on the mound.
I'll say.
And Jimmy Rollins and the Phillies are in the bottom of the ninth against Aroldis Chapman. Make it 11 sacks.
Perfectly executed. Deadens the ball on the right side. For call to second. Time for our carsoup.com email the booth question. In St. Jacob, Illinois. Oh, I like this question. Were there any players that hit a home run off of both Rick and Al?
I don't like the question.
Has to be true. There has to be some.
True.
Many? A few?
I know the answer. You know the answer?
I do now. Dave Parker, George Foster, and Phil Garner. Do you remember all those home runs?
I knew Parker hit one. I couldn't remember the Foster one. I remember Gardner hit one. I was mad about that one. Is your hat on straight, Ricky?
Yeah, just not my head.
I don't like the picture because there's no facial hair. So that was actually almost pre-Mad Hungarian. That was about 1973.
That really can't be me because there's a four-seamer going there, and I never threw one of those.
Well, how about your hat? Looks like it's a little too small.
Could be.
I always thought you had a big head.
I don't know where to go with that. Got a couple of ideas, and they're both bad.
I'm going to get it out of you, Ricky.
John Jay. RBI opportunity here for call at second, and a strike on the inside corner. Perfect sacrifice for Kyle Loesch, trying to help himself out. And again, it has the feeling of one of those games where it's early, and then it's late.
And that's why the Cardinals are going to take the lead, or at least tie it here. It's the inning. You got the man in scoring position. John 4 for 20. Now he got a base hit his last time up against Bud Norris.
Ground ball to right side, base hit to right. Here comes Furcal. He's going to try to score. Play at the plate, he's safe, and Jay to second base. John Jay has tied it, and he ends up in scoring position for St. Louis. Strong arm from right, but he misses the cutoff man.
And Oquendo once again is always going to challenge throwing arms. They have to prove it to him that their arm is accurate and you can do it under game conditions. So when he got for call out there, he sees that it goes through. He just comes around, starts looking. I don't recommend that. Just put your head straight ahead and don't be looking to see where the ball is. That slows you down, but get the bonus. Not only do you tie the game, but you get another man in scoring position, this time for Carpenter.
Greg now at second base. 2-2. Carpenter is 0 for 2.
Let's take a look at for call. Talk about the secondary lead. See, the pitch is being made. He already another 3 strides towards third base, so it get that good jump, and that paid off in allowing him to score without a play. You take your first lead, and then as the pitch is being made, you take a couple another strides, and you still get back. Practice it, but you got to, you got to just put it in play during the game.
So that secondary lead,
and he can look over right now, and he can see the second baseman has no chance of ever getting. So the only thing he has to feel is the pressure of the shortstop, and Oquendo's going to tell him there. Second baseman is not paying any attention there, so he can get a huge lead off of him. He can sense and feel the shortstop, and Oquendo's going to be in his ear, telling him to get more or to get back. But then after the pitch is made, he'll take 2 or 3 more strides right there.
And that's the difference between being safe at home and being out at home.
Phillies are trying to battle. Ace Utley is up with a runner on first and only 1 out. It's now 3-2.
Ground ball to right side, hit hard but handled by Wallace. Flips to Norris. Jay advances to third. What's on tap brought to you by Budweiser all season long. Final game of the series. Dallas Keuchel and Jake Westbrook. He's got an extension yesterday from the Cardinals. Coverage begins at noon on Fox Sports Midwest. So day baseball tomorrow. The Cardinals will head to Cincinnati. And again, Cincinnati has a battle going on right now against the Phillies in the bottom of the 9th. The Reds with Chapman on the mound, leading by 1.
Keuchel is a young left-hander for the Astros tomorrow. 7th round pick out of the 2009 draft out of the University of Arkansas. 1-4 this year with an ERA at 5.3. And he struggled away from home. He's 0-3 with a 9 ERA. So it's imperative to win this game, leapfrog over the Pirates. Hopefully the Phillies can help out a little bit and get ready for the first of 2 showdowns against Cincinnati.
And the dirt gets away, and here comes Jay. Talk about your good secondary leads. What a good jump he had. And the Cardinals take the lead.
Exactly right, Ricky. He had that good lead, then he took the secondary. As soon as that ball got away from Snyder, he was on his race home. Now watch him right here. Now he'll take a couple more steps. He just sees that. Look how quickly he breaks. Get a better look here, what he saw, and there was no hesitation at all. A third base coach can yell at you, but you got to do this on your own instincts.
2-0 on Holiday. Base hit to right for Holiday. 2 games in a row now with a runner at third. He doesn't get an RBI because of a balk yesterday, a wild pitch today, and both times he followed with a base hit.
Talked about that most of the time he lives away. And there's 95 down on the black, but even better hitting as he goes with the pitch and lines it to right field. Saw Doug Roquel, the pitching coach for the Astros. He did a lot of instructing, a lot of teaching in yesterday's game, and here I think he just wants to slow things down, get Norris to kind of take a deep breath.
Beltran has hit Norris well, 7 for 20, including 5 doubles, and he doubled in the 4th. Aroldis Chapman now facing Ryan Howard with the game on the line in the bottom of the 9th. A runner aboard and 2 outs.
Come on, Ryan. I think you're back home at Busch Stadium.
Norris reacting as if he has a bug, a bee, a fly, a moth, something. There goes Holliday. Good jump for Holliday. Close play at second, and he is thrown out stealing. We knew the Cardinals would run. Holliday thrown out, but the Cardinals running the bases very well. Vercal getting the big jump. He scores the Cardinals' first run of the inning. Then it was John Jay doing the same. 3-2 St. Louis. Collectible set of 2 Cardinals beverage cups. 25,000 fans ages 21 and older will receive the beverage cup, courtesy of Lumiere Place Casino and Hotels. Visit Cardinals.com for details. 3-2 St. Louis. Kyle Loesch will try to protect that lead. Cardinals ran the bases very well in the 5th. And have out-hit the Astros 7-3.
I'm not sure I liked Holliday stealing in that situation with Beltran at the plate. Someone with second in the National League in home runs, RBI leader.
Well, we thought they'd run more against the Astros because of the problems their catchers have had throwing. That's the other side of it. Snyder 11 of 64 runners before getting Holliday there. But your concern is you take the bat out of the hand of Carlos Beltran. Gonzalez bounces out. So Kyle Loesch has really settled down. That's 9 straight for him. And would have been 10 except for the error for Rafael Vercal, the only error in this game. The only error, but that extra base allowing John Jay to get from first to second by not hitting the cutoff man, put him in position to get the third and then score.
Big difference.
Fundamentals.
Little things, but they add up to losses. .66 pitches, 50 strikes. They allowed 3 hits. Cardinals have 7. A lot of times it's not what you do to win a game, it's what you do to lose a game is the difference.
Hard hit to left center. Jay on the move. He's back to the track, to the wall, and he's got it again. Are you kidding me? John Jay. Another outstanding play in center field.
Coming off the bat of a left-handed hitter, Brett Wallace, that ball continued to slice away from John Jay. So he has a tremendous run. And then a jump right at the base of the wall. Earlier this season, he injured his shoulder running into the wall. And we see him continue to be fearless. Did have a little bit of time to get that leg up and break the fall, but not much as he hits it hard on that right side again. Bounces up, and all the Cardinal Nation is appreciative of his skill.
I think what's most amazing about what we're seeing from John Jay is how he goes from A to B. And that's a long way away from where he was playing Brett Wallace to make that play.
And remember, coming off the bat of a lefter is going to keep on slicing, so
his judgment, his routes are just so very good. And then the hands, too, to be able to hold on as you hit the wall.
Start getting people to make comparisons between Jay and Edmonds. Keeps this up.
Well, let's start with you doing it. What do you think? How would you compare them?
I still will give Jim the edge overall. But, you know, we're talking about a young player that's going to just continue to improve. Edmonds, remember, played so shallow. Actually, at times defied the positioning to where they wanted to play, because he could go back on a ball so well, scale the wall, take home runs away, and he wanted to protect singles, hit in front of him, and save his pitching staff. So John Jay hadn't won a Gold Glove yet, but he's getting a lot of attention for that, for maybe his first one. And after he gets 5 or 6, maybe we'll start making a better comparison with Jimmy.
Ground ball to short. Vercall makes a nice play of his own. Cardinals have had Flood, McGee, Edmonds, but now John Jay patrolling center field. AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. And by Ford, the official vehicles of the Cardinals. 3-2 St. Louis. They're getting ready to hit in the bottom of the 6th inning. Beltran, Craig, and Molina. Well, welcome back to Cardinals baseball. Rick Horton, Al Hrabosky, and Jim Hayes. And this has been a good ball game here tonight. Loesch and Norris locked up. Beltran has bounced out and doubled. A lot of good moments ahead in this game. Close ball game.
Last inning you were talking about, it's getting late. Got to do something. Got a pair of runs to take the 3-2 lead.
Pitch at 92 miles an hour, so Norris still has a good live fastball here tonight. Just missing the outside corner, so a full count to Beltran. Really has not had problems with his control at all. He's had a couple of games where he walked 5 in one, 6 in another. We haven't seen that problem from Norris tonight. Breaking pitch. One hopper to Brett Wallace. Out number 1. Tonight at Busch Stadium, Fox Sports Midwest joined Jack in the Box, Walgreens, and others to launch the 2012 Teaming Up for Kids effort. The promotion, which benefits Cardinals Care and St. Louis Children's Hospital Foundation, will be at local stores in September. Crowd still buzzing, I think, a bit by the play of John Jay in center field.
No doubt. Come to expect it.
Fun to watch. Very humble guy, very quiet player. Does his job.
And I like the fact here, by design, Cardinals made this wall at the height that it is, so fielders will have an opportunity to go up over it and bring back home run balls. And I think that's always a crowd pleaser to see that athleticism.
Anybody that's ever had any kind of injury, think about how hesitant you are to put yourself in a position to maybe injure that again. Nice diving play by their center fielder, and that's again another reason to think that John Jay is just on another level right now, because he's not having any fear as he goes back towards that wall.
Correct. And Barnes right there, he misjudged that at first, but because of his speed was able to compensate, come in and make the shoestring catch. And the concentration. First step was back a little bit. Never forget, I was doing a game with Jack Buck, and Willie McGee is, as much as we love Willie in his play, Jack one time said, I don't know where it was, but someplace, might have even been in Little League, that Willie McGee ran into a wall and he didn't like it. Because he would tiptoe around that wall.
And that was a hard wall, too.
Yeah.
In Old Busch Stadium.
And it was 414 feet to dead center field and 386 in the power alleys.
Talk about covering ground, though.
And concrete. You never questioned Willie's effort either, did
No.
you? But he didn't like to get around that wall.
86 pitches now for Norris. 3-0 to Molina.
Got activity in their bullpen. A lefty warming up.
And that is the first walk in this ball game.
You willed it, Ricky.
I did.
53, that's Wesley Wright. He was a Rule 5 selection a few years ago and thought he was a pretty good one. I think he came out of the Dodger organization. They're carrying 2 Rule 5s right now. Cale out to talk to him.
Joe Patini on the right with Tony DeFrancesco, 49-year-old in his first week as a major league manager after 17 years in the minor leagues and looking for his first victory here tonight. Talking it over with Patini, and Joe is going to be so valuable to him, as you mentioned last. Understanding how to get things done in the big leagues and the cadence of a big league game with how the TV works and the travel, etc. Joe Patini is going to be his eyes and ears.
And Dan Radisson, who was an assistant to the general manager, now he's the first base coach. But Radisson's been around for a long time with the Cardinal organization, or many years being a coach under Jim Rinkelman. But he was, when we were in Houston last time, Danny was with the big club seeing there, but most of the time when they were not in Houston, he was scouring their minor leagues, getting pretty good reads. So it really wouldn't be fair to have somebody that had been at the big leagues like a Patini to manage this club right now, because he wouldn't know his own people.
Think about Dan Radisson and Jim Riggleman, both former Cardinal guys, and what they did for the Washington Nationals to get them on track. Of course, Jim Riggleman decided to leave that job, but they were building a team there, and they had become quite a team, and the Cardinals are going to see him on the next road trip.
Not seen the Nationals yet this year. They might miss Strasburg. He might be shut down by that time.
The debate continues.
I'm sure the Cardinal fans would feel a little disappointed. They'd want to see the Cardinals win, but they'd like to see that talent. Atlanta has a 2-0 lead over the Nationals tonight at Washington in the 8th inning. Atlanta is 7 back.
Numbers we talked about earlier with Craig and Descalzo against Bud Norris. Each of them with a home run. Good career numbers.
Those home runs came in the last start, in Houston, where he lost, but in 6 innings he had 12 strikeouts.
Again, the point you made is that's why Descalzo's in the lineup.
Yeah.
Even though Daniel had been 0 for 12, you put him in there, and what does he do? First at bat, a double and an RBI. That's why those numbers and the history, one hitter against one particular pitcher, why that matters to a manager. Ground ball to the right side. Cardinals are retired in the 6th. On to the 7th. Cardinals lead by 1. Season batting average. I'll bet Al knows the answer to this one.
I do. Rusty Staub. Back with the Colt 45s. Rusty Staub was one of the originals. And then most people remember the Grand Larange when he was traded from Houston to Montreal. Became a real fan favorite up there.
That average, we should say, does not include the strike shortened season, which Bagwell was able to do. And this is Al Hrabosky in between innings using Photoshop.
I have to teach you how to do this.
Well, I'm not really understanding what you're doing, Al, but I'd be glad to take a lesson from you.
Well, you punch this thing.
Yeah.
And you slide it over to that thingamajig.
Yeah.
And then you reverse angles and
yeah.
And that's what comes out.
Very helpful.
See, there's my beard.
Oh boy. Oh, 0-2 to Scott Moore. Moore, Pierce, and Barnes. Straight now retired for Kyle Loesch, who's really settled into a nice performance here tonight. No walks, 3 strikeouts.
Just come to expect it, haven't you? Just early in this ball game, and first and second innings, he's given up his most runs, and then once he finds his groove, until he runs out of gas, you're going to see a very efficient. Give himself chance. Keeps you in a ball game, and like I said, with a 12-2 record, he's got a ton of games where he gave up 1 or 2 runs and or no runs and got no decisions. Got a changeup.
You have the ability to throw that changeup at any count.
Oh,
that sets you apart as a pitcher.
I mean, it's really pitching. There's fastball away. Keep it out of the middle of the plate. Good quality pitch. Line drive to left. Hit it well. It's an out.
Loesch has 19 quality starts already this season. Look back at some other years for Loesch where he had 20. Actually, only 3 pitchers in baseball right now, Giovanni Gallardo, David Price, and Jordan Zimmerman, have more quality starts than Kyle Loesch this year. All 3 of them have 20, and Loesch could tie them with a quality start tonight, and he's on his way.
Forgetting.
Ground ball to third. 2 out.
As you said, 19 on the year, and 13 of his last 14 have been quality starts. The only non-quality start was on July 31st at Colorado, and that'll get a lot of people, as he went 6 innings, but did give up 5 runs. So just come to expect him to go out there and just pitch a tremendous game and hope the offense can give him some runs for it.
Loesch just moving right along, isn't he? Facing Brandon Barnes. Foul ball out of play, and we do have a final for you. And this is from Philadelphia. Chapman facing Ryan Howard. The game on the line, lines it out to our friend Ryan Ludwig, and the Reds are able to hold on.
Royer won that game, and Chapman another save. That's 31 and 32 for him.
Fly ball to center. John Jay makes the play. Kyle Loesch doing very well. Time to stretch. Any size drink, just 50 cents all day tomorrow at your nearest On the Run at Mobile. This year, 6 is a serious number. Our Mid-America Chevy dealers called to the bullpen. The left-hander is Wesley Wright.
Wesley has been around a little bit now. He is 27 years of age. He was acquired from the Dodgers in the Rule 5 Major League Draft back on December 6, 2007. And he's been with Houston ever since then. He's been a very good specialist for the 60th time, 0-2, but really handling left-handed batters. So, but Norris is through, 6 innings, 7 hits, 3 runs, all earned, walked 1, and only struck out 1. And it looks like Kyle Loesch is through, as Shane Robinson is going to follow for Call, who turns around to the right side.
First pitch misses inside. Is surprised at all that Loesch's night is through?
A little bit, but you know, it's been our formula. We always said if the starter can go 7, turn it over to Boggs and Mott, you're in good shape. So
Call bounces out.
Boggs will come in and pitch the 8th inning. Not a lot of margin for error in the 3-2 game. So see for Call, right in the middle of the plate a little bit, and handcuffed him a little bit. Wesley Wright, I think, is sneaky fast. Not a big guy at all. That ball kind of jumps up on you a little bit. You did get that ball in a little bit.
87 pitches for Loesch. 63 were strikes. 7 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs, no walks, 3 strikeouts for Loesch, who's trying to win game number 13. Shane Robinson fouls that delivery off. Robinson, we've seen him as a pinch hitter. 7 hits.
Ricky, you said Loesch is trying to win, you know, for the 13th time. In 6 of his 16 starts, he allowed 1 run or less. And 13 of 16 starts, they were all quality, you know. So, and this is just against Houston, you know, in his career. Got the lowest ERA of any opponent.
More than 440,000 Americans die each year from smoking-related illnesses, including cancer, heart disease, and stroke. 10,000 in Missouri alone. Call the Missouri Tobacco Quit line to quit now. 1-800-QUIT-NOW. 19 first pitch strikes for Kyle Loesch.
Brought Wesley Wright to counteract these left-handed bats. Turn for Call around, and now with first 2 men in the order, Jay and Matt Carpenter left-handed. Wesley Wright, last 2 seasons, lefties are hitting 188 against him. Last year they were 1 for 26.
Cardinals have just announced the attendance for tonight's game, 35,198. Enjoying a good baseball game here at Busch Stadium, in a game that matters a lot. They all do going forward. Cardinals trying to chase that wild card. John Jay bounces out, so a good inning for Wesley Wright. 2 more innings left. Mitchell Boggs has one of them.
Our studio with this Bomberito Sports Update at Paris.
Thanks, Pat. Mid-America Chevy dealers called to the bullpen. Cardinal 8th inning specialist Mitchell Boggs.
Mitchell appearing for the 59th time. ERA 2.09. 56 innings, 44 strikeouts. He worked a scoreless inning on the 10th inning of the Cardinals' 19-inning loss on Sunday. So you like to give him a little work. Get the same thing for Mott, but need to have a real efficient 1-2-3.
He will face 8, 9, and 1.
Next off day for the Cardinals will be September 6th. Got to have these guys, your late inning guys, available every night to close out victories. They got Sepchinski warming up in case Boggs needs a little help, but I've become accustomed to seeing Boggs do the job. He has fallen behind the count.
The 2-0. It's the outside corner, 2-1. Brian Bogusevic came on with the double switch with Wesley Wright. He's playing center field and he bats in the 9th spot, so he'll hit next now for Houston. Snyder, Bogusevic, and then the top of the order, and that pitch low, 3-1. It's a ball high. Leadoff walk in the 8th inning to Snyder. And that's trouble. Late inning walks. Our Schnucks difference maker. Not just offensively. A couple of singles, RBI, and a run, but also some more good defense from John Jay.
Well, not only good defense, but also, you know, heads up base running. He's had a good all around game. Maxwell is the pinch runner for Snyder. Bogusevic been involved in some comebackers. We say it all the time, Rick, when the opposition walks somebody late in the ball game. Got to say it when they do.
There goes the runner. Ground ball to the right side. So on the hit and run, Bogusevic makes contact, and that advances Maxwell.
I think the Cardinals catch a break there because he had the base stolen. Get an out.
There's Maxwell at second. Host your next party at the ballpark and leave the entertaining to us. Party suites include a fully catered all-inclusive menu plus a great view of the game. Party suites are great for groups of 30 or more. Book yours today at cardinals.com/party suites. A lot of good options here at the ballpark. Love the party suites. Love the Champions Club. Really not a bad seat in the house. Fly ball to center. Jay on the move. No problem. Maxwell, good speed. Tags up and heads to third. Mitchell Boggs trying to pitch around. A leadoff walk in the 8th.
I was a little concerned with Altuve out there. You know, that little pink, pesky little hitter, the 300 hitter, spray the ball around here. But as soon as that ball got in the air, I relaxed a little bit. You have Sepchinski warming up, but Marvin Gonzalez is a switch hitter. It wouldn't be a bad idea to turn him around, though. He's only 1 for 33. Right-handed, 274 left-handed.
Maxwell, the potential tying run at third. Strike one to Gonzalez.
Boggs is pitching well. It really doesn't matter if he's left or right, but
agreed.
And after leadoff walk, we've seen him do his thing. Mike Matheny going to go with with Boggs here.
Infield has to be on their toes here. Gonzalez runs well.
Now the reason from the right side, takes a little more time to get to first base, but Boggs is doing the right thing. He's ahead in the count, 0-2.
The Astros are battling tonight, trailing by just 1 here in the 8th inning. Boggs delivers in the dirt, blocked by Molina.
Can't emphasize enough how comforting it is to a pitcher to know that with Yadier Molina back behind the plate, tying run at third base, you can throw a ball in the dirt and know that it'll be blocked.
What a bad feeling it is to have a guy in that situation and to be thinking as you deliver the ball, don't throw it in the dirt, don't throw it in the dirt, don't throw it in the dirt.
And guess what you do?
You hang it.
Or you throw it in the dirt.
Well, you could do that too.
There's another one that's blocked.
But again, that worry is totally out of the pitcher's mind.
And it's hard to pitch when you're worrying about things like that. It's hard to pitch when you're looking over your shoulder and saying, I got to make this perfect pitch or I'm out of the game, or is my job in jeopardy. I think that's how Boggs had to pitch the last few years, but not anymore.
The 2-2 on the outside corner, strike 3. Boggs strikes out Gonzalez, and he does indeed pitch around the leadoff walk. A big it's the sure sign of a good time. Here we go. And by Taco Bell, Liv Moss. Cardinal fans hoping for back-to-back victories here against the Astros in this series. The finale is tomorrow afternoon. The Astros are just 12-49 on the road. In 2012, the Cardinals with a 1-run lead here in the 8th. Carpenter, Holiday, and Beltran. Wesley Wright will probably give way to a right-hander.
And that's Fernando Rodriguez warming up.
He'll be ready for Holiday, who bats next.
We have the switch hitting Beltran after Holiday.
See why Wright is tough on left-handers. This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the St. Louis Cardinals. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. DeFrancesco makes a to face Matt Holliday. 54 games on the season, ERA in the mid-5s.
Look at the 1-8 record. But something happened last year, June 24, 2011 versus Tampa Bay, that had never happened before in the modern era. And that's since 1900. That was Fernando Rodriguez appeared in the same game with Wandy Rodriguez and Anori Rodriguez. So three guys with the same surname appearing in the same game as a trio of teammates. Kind of have a little.
So that's a record.
Get confused
a
about
record of
Rodriguez's.
That's right.
And you didn't have to worry about Wandy anymore.
Matt Holliday is who he has to worry about now. 1 for 3, singled, and was caught stealing in the 5th inning. Beltran bats next. Cardinals hoping for a little insurance.
This is a perfect game to talk about when you're playing a club like the Astros that obviously are going to lose well over 100 games. They only have 12 road victories in 61 games. If you can get like last night, you go 4 runs in the 1st inning, they look for it tomorrow. But if they can stay with you in a game like this, they can be very difficult to beat.
Hard hit into the left field corner, off the wall. Holliday looking for 2. Strong throw to second, not in time. 1 out double for Holliday.
His 29th double of the year, his 2nd hit in this ball game.
And maybe he's heating back up again. We're going to call this our Nissan drive of the game. This ball's hit hard.
Hit very hard, and we could hear it all the way up here. This thing off the wall, just a thud. Left fielder Ben Francisco gets it back in, but not before that 29th double.
And they're going to walk Carlos Beltran.
We'll take that.
I'm okay with that.
Got to face Alan Craig. But it is good to see that Carlos got a double in this ball game. Cardinals are going to need their hitting shoes, not only tomorrow, but for that very difficult 10-game road trip.
Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, then the Nationals for 4. We'll know a lot when we get to Labor Day, won't we?
Sure will, but even if you go on a long winning streak, you're still going to have to keep on pushing for the next 3 weeks.
In case you missed it, the Pirates were swept in their series in San Diego earlier today. They lost 4-2. Cincinnati beat the Phillies in Philadelphia 3-2. So the two teams that the Cardinals are chasing, one victorious, the other not.
It's early in Los Angeles, but Giants already with a 3-0 lead over the Dodgers.
Another team we're going to have to start paying more attention to.
You got to watch them as in consideration for that wild card.
Alan Craig. Chance to add on here for the Cardinals in the 8th inning. The Atlanta Braves, Al, had been gaining ground on Washington, but they lost a number of games in a row, and the Nationals are hot again, so they've dropped 3 games in the last week.
Atlanta lost 4 straight. They were leading earlier today. And they beat Washington tonight 5-1.
It's another team the Cardinals could conceivably have to catch at the end.
Cardinals trying to win their 67th game. Atlanta has 71 wins.
Cardinals with a victory would go to +11.
And 1 game or half game over Pittsburgh in the standings, in 2nd place in the Central.
Two and one.
Like maybe a generous strike there, but Alan Craig really doesn't get too high or too low, does he? Very even keel and good approach all the time. I'm a very confident hitter, and a pitcher keeps on trying to see if he can get it out on the bases. I just feel like my chances increase. The mental game between a hitter and a pitcher. He's afraid to throw it to me. He's got more confidence he can get it out on the base paths than at home plate. Good breaker ball.
Sure was. Evens the count at 2. Knee buckler.
Knee buckler. Watch his knees. Oops. Know that's coming though. Just drop that bat head and pull it to the short part of the field and left.
Big pitch here. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Craig strikes out. Another good off-speed pitch from Rodriguez. So what will Yadier Molina do with this opportunity?
Go back to here is, no, he's guessing that he's going to get something other than that. That ball never was in the strike zone, and breaking ball just bounced up there. And a few times you'll see Alan Craig have that poured bat, especially with men in scoring position. But it happens. earlier in the season, Jason Castro, the catcher, coming off that very serious knee injury of a year ago and also a fractured bone in his foot, gave up a lot of pass balls, wild pitches.
He's back behind the plate for Schneider, and he smothers that one.
He's on the disabled list again this year with a knee ailment. Can you find the answer to that one with all your tweeters? Was it knee infusion?
Up the middle, base hit, Molina. Holiday will score, and the Cardinals add on here in the 8th inning. Clutch hitting by the Cardinal all-star catcher, Yadier Molina.
Big insurance run for Jason Mott. He was fooling people with the breaking balls, tried to sneak a fastball by Yadi, and it wasn't a good idea. Picks up his 59th RBI. Yadi adds to his batting average, 1 for 3 with a walk. There's a fastball up out over the plate. Hits it by the shortstop, and the Cardinals pick up their 4th run. Don't stop.
Incredible how many balls Yadi hits on the good part of the bat. And I mean, centers the ball. He hits the ball hard the other way. He'll pull it hard up the middle. Fly ball to left. Descalzo's retired, but Yadi strikes again here in the 8th. Gives a little cushion for Jason Mott, who will have the 9th. 4-2 St. Louis.
Edition of Missouri Lottery Cardinals Live. Pat Paris, Cal Eldred are at Lumiere Place. Coming up, a full breakdown on tonight's pitching matchup between Kyle Loesch and Bud Norris. Inside John Jay's number as a leadoff man, plus we'll get Mike Matheny's post-game thoughts as well. Jason Mott comes on to try to nail this one down, and we send it back to the booth and Rick and Al. Guys.
Thanks, Jim. Jason Mott with 28 saves on the year, a 2-run cushion now, thanks to Yadier Molina.
Jason picked up his 28th save on Saturday, pitched a scoreless inning, the 9th inning in the 19-inning game on Sunday. Cardinals have 28 saves. Jason has all of them. Mitchell Boggs is trying with a successful conversion here. He'll have his 23rd hold.
Mott really has established himself as the guy for the 9th.
Like I said, he has all the saves the Cardinals have. This is his workload the last 7 days. He needed to get in this game just to kind of tune up, and even better, he gets a save opportunity.
Pitch at 97. Brett Wallace, a good fastball hitter. Homered off of Loesch in the first. Very good outing for Loesch. Boggs had the 8th. Now Mott for the 9th. Line drive to left. Holiday has it. Time for our Budweiser player of the game. I think this is the appropriate choice. Kyle Loesch, 7 innings, just 3 hits.
3 hits. 2 of them happened to be solo home runs, but that was early in the game, and then he just got dominant and just kept on retiring Astros. He's in line for his 13th victory and 15 decisions.
Fly ball to center. 2 outs. Cardinals 1 out away from second place.
And you love this, that Mott only 4 pitches to get the first 2 outs. Hopefully he can have a very efficient, and that's where he pitched 3-4 days in a row and hopefully pick up all saves in those games when you have these quick outings. Pittsburgh lost. If the Cardinals win, they move into second place. Take care of business tomorrow, and then to get ready for the big showdown in Cincinnati over the weekend. Things are simple when you get a good start, and the Cardinals really think about Garcia, Wainwright, and Loesch. They've set the tone, haven't they?
Sure have.
Westbrook will be on the mound tomorrow. He's been on a roll. It all starts with starting pitching.
0-2 on Scott Moore. All smiles here at Busch Stadium. Jason Mott closes it out. The Cardinals celebrate in the middle of the diamond, and they have taken the first 2 from the Houston Astros.
This is the way you take care of business. This team has so much experience down this last 6 weeks, and they look like they're poised to have a lot more fun again this year.
Don't go away. The Missouri Lottery Cardinals Live postgame show is coming up next.